opened my own bedroom door and saw my boyfriend inside me-shaped sheets, having sex with my sister's best friend. I didn't scream. That's the part people don't understand when I tell them. I just stood there with my overnight bag still on my shoulder, staring at the stupid little details my brain decided were important. His pale blue button-down was on the lamp. One of my decorative pillows was on the floor. She had one hand over her mouth like that was going to make the situation more private. He looked at me first, not ashamed exactly, just annoyed in that split second before panic kicked in. "Why are you home?" he said. That was what finally made me drop my bag. I had been supposed to stay at my mom's for the weekend after her knee surgery, but she ended up wanting my aunt there instead because, in her words, "You hover and make me nervous." So I drove back Sunday night around 10:40 with a container of leftover lasagna on the passenger seat and a knot in my neck from the drive. I remember being weirdly excited because he'd texted earlier, "Miss you, baby," and asked if I wanted him to wash the bedding before I got back because the dog had jumped on the bed with muddy paws. We don't even have a dog. That should have clicked earlier. So should a lot of things. Not giant movie red flags, little ones. The kind you explain away because you don't want to be the insecure girlfriend doing forensic analysis on normal life. He had started taking his phone into the bathroom. He'd been more affectionate in this oddly scheduled way, like he'd remember at 8:15 p.m. that a good boyfriend should kiss my forehead and ask about my day. He suddenly cared about the gym after never once pretending to enjoy cardio. He bought new underwear without mentioning it, which sounds insane until you live with someone long enough to know when new underwear appears. And there was her. Maya wasn't my friend, technically. She was my sister Erin's best friend from college, the kind of woman everyone calls intense when they mean exhausting but charming enough to get away with it. She'd come over for birthdays and barbecues and somehow always end up in the kitchen with me, asking personal questions in that faux sisterly way. "Do you ever worry he's too quiet?" she asked me once while drying wine glasses. "No," I said. "I like quiet." She smiled. "Yeah, you like projects." At the time, I laughed because I didn't know what else to do. My boyfriend Nate is reserved. He's an accountant. He alphabetizes spices. He apologizes to furniture when he bumps into it. Calling him a project felt mean, but Maya said things like that and people let it slide because she said them smiling. And Nate never liked her, or pretended not to. "She's a lot," he'd mutter after she left. So when I saw them together in my bed, with my lamp casting this soft, warm light like some tasteful betrayal, it was the collision of two lies at once. He wasn't who I thought he was, and neither was I, because apparently I had been stupid enough not to see what was happening inside my own apartment. Maya grabbed the duvet to cover herself and said, "This is not what it looks like." I actually laughed then, a horrible little sound. "It looks like you're having sex with my boyfriend," I said, "on my side of the bed." Nate got up too fast and nearly tripped on the sheet. "Lena, please, just let me explain." I remember backing into the hallway because I couldn't breathe in that room anymore. My ears were ringing. He followed me, half-dressed, barefoot, holding his jeans in one hand. "Don't," I said. "Don't come near me." He stopped, but only because our neighbor across the hall chose that exact moment to open her door with a trash bag. She looked from my face to his bare chest to the bedroom behind him and quietly closed the door again. I still think about that. Maya came out a minute later wearing my robe. My robe. I wish I could say that was below her, but it wasn't. She had this talent for stepping into other women's spaces like she was just borrowing them. Hair ties, perfume, attention. "I was going to tell you," she said. I turned to her. "When? After?" Her face changed then, and for the first time she looked embarrassed instead of defensive. Nate kept trying to talk over both of us. "It's not serious," he said quickly. "It didn't mean anything." And that sentence, weirdly, hurt more than if he'd said he loved her, because what he was really telling me was that I had just detonated my life over something he considered meaningless, that my humiliation was collateral damage from whatever itch he felt entitled to scratch. "How long?" I asked. Neither of them answered. "How long?" Maya crossed her arms tighter into the robe. "A few months." Nate snapped, "Not months." She looked at him. "Since November." It was April. I had spent Thanksgiving with his family. In December, he helped me pick out a necklace for my sister. In January, when I got the flu, he slept on the couch because he said he didn't want to catch it, but he brought me tea and kissed my forehead and told me he loved me. In February, we toured a one-bedroom condo because he said renting was throwing money away. In March, I cried in his car because my yearly review at work was terrible, and he squeezed my knee and said, "We're a team." November, I sat down right there on the hallway floor because my knees went weak in this embarrassingly literal way. Nate crouched instinctively like he wanted to comfort me, and I flinched so hard he froze. "Did Aaron know?" I asked Maya. That finally made her look scared. "No." "Did you ever plan to stop?" Silence. The thing is, if it had just been sex, maybe I would have thrown them both out and called everyone I know and let clean hatred carry me. But then the details started landing in random order, like shards. Maya had been at Christmas dinner. She'd complimented the casserole I made while this was already happening. Nate had encouraged me to invite her to my birthday drinks because she shouldn't spend holidays alone. She gave me a candle. It was vanilla cedar. It was sitting on my nightstand while they were in my bed. I asked him, "Did you bring her here before?" He looked away. That was answer enough. After that, things got ugly in an ordinary way. No dramatic confession, no sobbing apology, just small, pathetic logistics. Maya asking where her bra was. Nate trying to say we should talk tomorrow when everyone had calmed down. Me telling them to get out. Him saying, "This is my apartment too," which was technically true because both our names were on the lease, and I hated him for the practicality of it. So I left. I drove to a 24-hour grocery store parking lot because it was bright and public, and I didn't trust myself to go to my sister's house yet. I sat there with the car running, staring at a shopping cart somebody hadn't put back. Nate called 11 times. Maya called twice, which I sent straight to voicemail because the idea of hearing her voice made me feel feverish. Then Aaron texted, "Maya says something happened. Are you okay?" I just stared at it. I wanted to tell her immediately. I wanted to send every filthy detail and scorch the whole friendship to the ground. But Erin is 8 months pregnant. She has blood pressure issues. She worships loyalty in this almost religious way, and Maya has been in her life for 13 years. Not knowing whether to protect my sister from stress or protect her from her friend made me feel almost as sick as what I'd seen. So I replied, "I'm okay. I just need tonight." That was 4 days ago. Nate has been staying with his brother. He keeps sending long texts that somehow make him sound like the wounded one. He says he felt lonely lately, that I've been critical, that things with Maya got out of hand. He also says he still wants to work on us, which is insane enough that I almost admire it. Maya sent one message saying she never meant to hurt me and that it wasn't planned. I didn't answer either of them. What I did do, and this is the part that makes me look bad, is listen to one of the voicemails Nate left at 2:13 a.m. He was crying. Real crying, not the neat kind. He said, "You were supposed to come home Monday. I just need you to know that." As if the worst part was my timing. I haven't told Erin yet. She knows enough to know something happened, and she's been asking if I want her to come over, but I keep saying no. Partly because I don't know how to tell a pregnant woman that her best friend and her sister's boyfriend were sleeping together behind both our backs. Partly because I found out, through a mutual friend, that Maya's father has apparently been in and out of the hospital, and now there's this ugly little voice in my head asking whether that matters at all, whether pain explains cruelty or just sits next to it. And partly because I did something I haven't admitted to anyone. Yesterday, I used Nate's laptop, which was still synced to his messages, and I read enough to know this wasn't some reckless affair between two people drunk on opportunity. There were weeks where Maya tried to end it and he pursued her, then weeks where he pulled away and she kept pushing. They both lied to me in different tones. They both used me as cover. But buried in all of it was one message from 3 months ago that I can't stop thinking about. From Maya, "She'll forgive you anything." That's the saddest part. I don't know if she meant it as a warning or a strategy. Nate has asked to meet in person. Erin has started calling instead of texting, and I'm sitting in the apartment I can barely stand to be in, sleeping on the couch because the bedroom feels contaminated, trying to decide which betrayal I deal with first. Because once I tell my sister, I blow up more than my own life. And if I don't tell her soon, I start looking like exactly what Maya thought I was.